are these people immune? I mean, there are people that have lost 50, 60, 80% of their pensions.
Well, that
in the market.
That's,
these guys are totally immune.
right. There is.
Are you kidding?
It's contractually, you know, legally. I'm just telling you, I'm not a lawyer, but contractually, it's there. You know, it's an obligation that we have. We have to pay it. We can't not pay it.
Change the law back to what it was in 2001.
People didn't know that pension had funded and
It's because of the years of service of their last
put that in the
salary.
program, or the individual program, other than the fund.
I mean, you're gonna blow up the economy. If you increase taxes that much, nobody's gonna have a job.
Right. Yeah, like I
They
said.
don't have any pension for anywhere.
Right. I don't support raising taxes. You know, we're going to have to make difficult cuts in other areas. I don't think it's a good idea, but refinancing the whole thing would really add to the cost with all the extra interest. You know, if you refinancing this over 30 years. Now that being said, it wouldn't surprise me if that's what ends up happening. I have to learn more about it and study it more and get more feedback from people. But I think it's a bad thing to do because you would pay less each year, but you'd be paying a lot more overall, you know, to be able to thing out. Now, another change that can be made is for future service. Legally, there's nothing you can do about past service. If somebody worked last year, they earned, you know, 2.5% for that year of service. Now, going forward, you can say, okay, we're going to bring the multiplier back down to 2.0, or you could say, we're not going to have you earn any more service, and whatever you earned in the past, you'll get. You're not going to earn any more, you know, future credit going forward. That can legally be done, but legally you can't take away the stuff that they already earned,
Even if we don't have the money.
even if we don't have the money. I mean, it's
Makes no sense.
That's the place where
That's
you
because
start.
you have the taxing authority to raise the money. That's law.
But you are the state legislature. You are the guys that write the damn
I
laws.
have capability,
And we can't pass a law. There's a constitutional provision in the Pennsylvania Constitution. We can't pass a law that would make a contract null and void. That's a contract between the employee and the state with the pension plan. And there's legal court case precedents in place that you can't take away somebody's pension. You can't do it. You can not give them credit for future service. You can say, okay, if you've been working for the school for 20 years, we'll give you the pension based on that 20 years. But if you work here for another 20 years, you're not going to build more benefits over the next 20 years. But you have to pay them when the stuff going backwards. Yes, Dave.
So that there isn't anything in the contract that says forever and ever. In other words, you could go down there in the fall session and say, now listen, we're headed for insolvency. From this day forth, you're back to 2%.
Yeah, we
You can have, well, and I think this is something that should seriously be addressed.
And
Or we're all gonna be in insolvency.
yes.
Right. Is it, and I don't know how this would work, but is there any way that the legislature can go back to the employees and those retirees and renegotiate? I mean, we can go back and negotiate with unions or close the shop. You know, is there some way that we can renegotiate with even the retirees and somewhere, because everybody else is taking the beating and these people are like they're exempt, and I think that the rest of the taxpayers in our state would like to see our legislature go back and see if we can get some concessions on what's going on. I don't think that has been approached at all. These people live in these communities where everybody else is making $20,000 and they're making $40,000, $50,000. We should be able to petition them and see if they're willing to come back to the table and talk about this and help in the solution for the better good of our economy and our state.
Going forward, yeah, but going backwards, no. I
No,
mean,
it's worse.
somebody that's, you know, worked for the last, you know, 20 years as a teacher and they're lined up to get a, you know, $30,000 a year pension, they're not going to say, oh, okay, just give me 20,000 instead of 30. That's okay. They're never going to do that.
I know it doesn't sound like that, but the feasibility that they would take 28 instead of 30. You know, if everybody would give back a portion.
You know, what you're saying sounds reasonable, but I don't think it would ever happen. And here's why. Like I said before, even new employees that don't even work for the school yet. I mean, kids that are still in college today, the teachers are fighting against the proposal to not have them in the pension plan. They don't even work for the school yet, and they're against them not being in that pension plan. So if they won't even go along with that, they're probably not going to go along with, you know, reducing their own. I mean, now what about locally? I mean, could the local school board get the teachers to agree to a 0% raise for the next 4 years?
I think that's what we're gonna do.
And I mean, it would be a good idea because that's what the raises in Spartansburg are for most people. I mean,
They're negative numbers.
yeah, negative or zero. And
You took the power of the board, you took the power of the board away from the local boards years ago. Years ago, the state said, we will mandate what you need to do. My daddy served 14 years on the school board. And about 2 years after he got off from it, passed a certain act, I'm not quite sure what the numbers are. But when they passed that act, the local boys on the school board said, we lost our power in the school board.
I'm always very
So
careful.
it's got to be cured down the state. It can't be cured in Roae or Titusville or Union City or Pioneer or wherever. It's got to be cured down in the big place.
I agree. We have to find a solution in Harrisburg, but also locally a solution needs to be worked on simultaneously.
They
And
don't have no authority to work on
well, no, they have the authority to negotiate a contract that's affordable for the taxpayers. It's hard to do, but they have the authority.
Teachers union has the best contract in the country.
It's as strong as you.
No, because they don't all run out the same day.
And then
And
this,
they end up on the fighting arbitration, and they look at the surrounding area where they settled last year, so they continue to climb. If they all had to arbitrate the same year, then after a 6 or 9 year cycle, that would go away.
as far as mandates on school districts, I'm always very careful. Like this earned income tax collection thing, where there's one tax collector for the whole county. You know, I voted against that because that's an example of a mandate of where the state government is telling, you know, school districts and borough councils what to do. Quite frequently, you know, almost always, when there's mandates of the state telling local communities to do something and they're not funding it, I vote no on those things. You know, decisions should be made locally. You know, there's a bill a couple years ago that would mandate school districts sell vacant schools within so many years. Well, sometimes in some communities, it's pretty easy to sell a vacant school. Some communities, it takes a few years. Well, the state law would have mandated that it's sold within so many years or you have to tear the building down. Well, that's a decision that should be made locally. When I see legislation like that, I almost always vote no on it because I want township supervisors and borough council members and school board members, county commissioners, I want them to make the decisions that impact the local communities. You know, we shouldn't be telling them what to do at the state level. And it is getting to be about 7 o'clock, and I think council, yes,
This just has to go back down to the corruption. I don't know if you're aware about Pennsylvania Insurance Corp. Have you heard about that scandal that's happening?
I don't think so.
You should really check into that with, because what's happening is a lot of money is being laundered through the whole United States through Pennsylvania Insurance Company. And right now, we are in basically, we get a windfall tax of about $460 million if everything gets paid, because there's a lot of things that are happening right now. The big picture, you know, that's coming right through Pennsylvania Insurance Corporation. And it's, like I say, it has to do with gold and everything. I mean, I'm talking inflation and, you know, 'cause that's gonna, with gold, you know, because there's a lot of things that are happening on the money part. And that's a big one where Governor Randall is involved in a lot of laundering and everything. And I mean, I don't know all of the details of it, but you're in a position where you could find this money